Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss K. Reshay. How you doing? Is that the way you pronounce it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
All
doing well.
right.
How are you, Miss Sharice?
I'm fine. I'm blessed by the best, honey.
That's right.
Amen. So, my name is Sharice Johnson Moore, and my special guest today for Authors Excerpt Sunday is Kay Reshay. And she is a self-published author, poet, playwright. She was a featured panelist and presenter at the 2019 National Book Club Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. In 2017, her debut book series, Appearances, provoked readers to examine the people amongst their circles. As the president and founder of Me Time Book Club, she has participated in several book and community service events throughout the years. The goal of her book club is to promote literacy within the community. Her latest standalone novel, All Things Work Out Well, depicts the heartbreaking story of tragedy and triumph amongst two friends. In addition, she has released two stage plays and children's books, co-authored with her son. Currently, she is working on her personal travel memoir, African American Girl Lost. This memoir outlines her personal journey to self-discovery during her first visit to West Africa. To discover more details about Kay Reshay and her and to hear complete interviews, please reach out to her through her website, which is kreshay.weebly.com. Okay, so how are you doing today, Miss Kay Reshay?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, honey. I'm doing great.
Good.
So, you co-authored some books with your sons. Tell us more about that.
Yes, ma'am. They had been going with me to like different book events, and so they wanted to write a book.
Mhm.
And so we were sitting at the dinner table and just out of nowhere I went and I grabbed the notebook, grabbed the pen, and I said, okay, you want to write a book? Let's throw some ideas around.
Yeah.
And so with them both being in grade school, I felt it was really, really important for us if we were going to do a children's book to, of course, maybe focus on somewhat like a series.
Yes.
And with the series, just base it off of the different struggles that kids their age go through. And so my 8-year-old son, Brandon, came up with the name Dregs.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, we have a name.
Okay.
And then so Dregs is a 7-year-old little boy who just experiences life through, the eyes of my sons.
Yes.
And so the first book we wanted to dedicate to bullying because bullying was very prevalent the year that it came out. It's been, prevalent for years, but
yes,
we wanted to make sure that we had something that would that they could present during bullying month at their school.
Oh, okay.
And so the book came out the end of November of 2019. We basically was it 2019? my years are like I think it was 2019, but so the book just talks about bullying, and they were able to present that to their school counselor, and they were able to present it to first and second graders at their school. My oldest son, DJ, he's 12, so his grades is a little bit higher for for that type of book, but they were able to present it. And then it just took off from there. And then the second book is Dregs and the Birthday Surprise Party, which basically is just about Dregs giving back to his friend, helping his friend out because, financially his parents couldn't afford a birthday party. So, just focusing on caring and focusing on, with the bullying book, people you can go to and things like that. So we want to just continue the series, maybe complete them, maybe 5 to 10 more books of it, and just try to teach lessons as we go.
Okay. All right. I know that's right. We got to really like get into really being involved in our kids' activities and you know and really being there and showing them other ways.
Right.
Besides being in sports all the time.
Exactly.
And you know, like, okay, well, what you want to play? You want to play basketball or baseball? And then, you know, they get so involved in that, and then they, you know, older they get, the concept, oh, I want to be a big time NBA player,
right,
and things of that nature. And we have to gear our kids towards being entrepreneurs, where they start off early. They start off early with the mindset of, look, I have to do something other than sports.
Exactly. And it has allowed them to be able to be public speakers.
Yes.
So we have, you know, their book events, and they have their own table, and they stand up. You know, we've done book signings at Barnes and Noble, Second and Charles, and they literally, you know, stand there, speak with people about what their book is about.
Yes.
And it's just all about, you know, them seeing, you know, another outlet, another way, like you said, being able to know that, you know, I have achieved something that a lot of kids my age, I'm an author. And I actually have a product that I wrote, and that I can sell. And one big thing that I didn't even, it kind of happened just like out of the blue, but when they first received the book in the mail, their first book, it just became a teachable moment, because I was like, you see, this came from an idea of just sitting at the dinner table. Look at what you all created from your minds.
Yes.
And it was just one of those moments where I was overwhelmed as a mom to just see the looks on their faces, like, you know, we can actually sit down and come up with the concept, and then it can turn into something that's profitable, and, you know, that can help and encourage others.
I completely understand. So what other things would you like for us to know about you as a person, as an author, as an entrepreneur?
Well, as a person, I have always been very creative. In around, probably I would say around 6th, 7th grade, I was the kid that was in the creative arts class. I was one of the kids that did the school plays. You know, that was my outlet. And, you know, I've been writing since I was 8. And one thing I wished I would have done was realize that I am a writer years prior. But that's one of my biggest regrets, is that, you know, I didn't realize it. This whole time I've been writing. This whole time I've been writing poems. I've been writing short stories, and it never dawned on me that I was a writer. You know, I've written plays. I think that's one of my biggest achievements so far, is to actually see something that I've written come into, you know, full circle. Overall, just being in sales, you know, right after college, all of that stuff was just preparing me for being an entrepreneur. You know, I'm an investment banker by day. But just you know, looking back and thinking about how things happened in my life, it was just preparing me to be able to understand the business of being an author, you know, understand the business of being in front of people and being able to present something that I've written, and encourage them to purchase it and do a website. And you know, I'm looking back at my college days, I'm like, well, I took a web design class. Why did I take it? Well, I took it, but now look at, you know, now I know how to do a website. You know, so just, you know, I'm the type of person, I'm really laid back, creative. I love to travel. Of course, I love to write, love to read, which is, you know, the reason for me starting my book club in 2021. So, you know, just overall, just been a person that's always been creative and, you know, about the arts.
I used to be like that as a kid myself, because I was always, you got the rap songs, and I take the rap songs and write the lyrics down. We had cassette tapes then.
Oh yeah.
So I take this cassette tape. All right, okay. Like party people all over the world, homeboys, guys, pretty girls. I'm a man running around like no one else, And I would sit there and actually write down these words to these songs. And then I had a journal. I started a journal when I was young. And I didn't realize that was preparing me for here and now. And so the things we look back on, we look at it and be like, well, I was already that way back then.
Way back then.
Where I was doing the, I was singing in church. I've been singing since I was 7. I sing in church and everybody like, all right, go ahead, Sheree, sing, And I didn't realize it was a ministry at the time.
Right.
And now it's like all that's coming back on is coming back to me. Well, that is God has placed these skills and He gave me these gifts and talents. And now that they're all coming to fruition.
Right. Exactly.
And you be like, wow. So I know that you said you were investment banker, investment banker. So that kind of really like geared you towards already know what to do with the money. I already know what to do with money. So when you had this project and you come up with all these ideas, you be like, well, I got to start with the money first.
Exactly.
Because, and it all goes back to our formal training that we've had. So what are your current projects?
Currently, if I can ever just get my mind focused, I plan on finishing my travel memoir. It's very, very important to me. I have a foreword that was written for me by Mr. Curtis Bond. He is a Essence best-selling author and also the founder of the National Book Club Conference in Atlanta. And the whole trip, everything was so overwhelming that it's just taken me so long to just really try to put it all into words, because the experience was just no experience I've ever had before. And so writing a memoir is extremely different from writing something fiction. It's very personal. It's based on your recollection of things and your personal feelings, and it's putting myself out there. And I'm trying not to be too out there, but I feel it's important for me to be as honest as I can about my experience, about how I was feeling, everything. So that's one of the first things I want to finish. We have a 3rd children's book that's coming out, and it's going to deal with homeless people. Drex is going to encounter someone that's homeless. So giving back to homeless people is going to be the message for that one. There are a couple of ideas of fiction works that I have in my head that I'm not sure which one I want to go with first. But as a writer, there's just a need for me to write. Of course, with COVID and everything was just so crazy last year. My mind was just everywhere. I could not focus. And with everything that's going on, I'm starting to finally get to the point where I am ready to write. Like I'm feeling like I have to go ahead and start back on this journey. I have a stage play that I'm working on. I would love to take it to the main stage in our area. The 2 plays that I've done so far have been done by the drama ministry at my church. But I want to see it at the big stage. I want to take it a notch up. I have the play written. I have people in line that are, I have a director in line. I have a couple of actors in line that have already signed on. But with COVID and everything, it was like you didn't want to move forward because the theaters were so, as far as capacity and stuff goes. So that's kind of on the back burner, but it's definitely something I want to do. And then the last thing that I'm working on is I am a poet, so I do want to do a collection of my poems and put that in a book as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the last thing The last thing that I'm working on that is of course a part of my journey is I'm, president and founder of Meantime Book Club. So we are gearing up for our second annual book event behind the ink next year. It's going to be April the 30th in Birmingham, Alabama. And so yeah, I'm working on that as well.
Yeah, child, that's all about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because God always has a way of downloading or giving us this one thought. That's just like my book, Coming to Loving Yourself. It's an inspirational autobiography book. And the thing is that he gave me the idea. He said, sit down and write the book about your life. So, and that was like on the tail end of the three most important people that passed away in my life. And because my grandmother raised me, and she passed in 2011. And my dad passes away in 2014, 2 weeks before my birthday.
Oh, wow.
And my mother passed 6 months later.
Oh, wow.
January. And then he just gave me this idea. God gave me the idea when I was at my mother's house. My mother lived in Detroit, Michigan. So I had to travel and go there and, do the funeral stuff. And with her death, God spoke to me and said, it's time for you to write. I didn't understand it at the time. And so when I got back home from doing that, I sat down and I put everything in chronological order. I put everything, I wrote, it come to me in bits and pieces, but I wrote everything down. Then I had to think about, okay, when did this happen and when did that happen? And the thing is that I wrote the book. At first, I wrote the book for financial reasons. God said, that ain't why I told you to write the book.
Oh, wow.
That's not why I told you to write the book. I told you to write the book to free you from all that stuff you was holding on to that were keeping you stuck. 2, I want you to free somebody else from their situation. They might have dealt with some of these things in the book that you write about in your life, and you can help free somebody else or save somebody else's soul, or they'll save their life from thinking that they're not good enough, or thinking that they're not worthy enough of love, or they go through some situations in their life and they can relate to you.
Right.
So, and that was really what changed my purpose of really pushing the book. When I wrote it, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and sell it to everybody I see, and then I didn't have no concept of who I was gonna sell it to. And my business coach said, you know what, you need to turn around and grab a hold of who you really want to talk to with this book.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you want to talk to? Is it women, young women? Is it girls? I said, well, it's basically a book for women. Women, young girls, and teenagers. Then you got the young adults, and then you got the middle-aged adults.
Right.
You got some, older elderly women that don't realize that these things that they're holding on to is keeping them stuck.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah. I see that you founded a book club in 2011. Tell me about that.
We actually moved. So when I graduated college, I'm originally from Mississippi. So I graduated and then we relocated to my family relocated to Alabama. And so with it being in a new area, when I was always an avid reader. When I got into college, of course, it was college life, and reading just was not the thing. I kept a journal, but I stopped reading like I used to. So after college, and then my life started kind of settling down, and I started with corporate America. I got back into reading. My mom is an avid reader, so we used to go to the library and check out books, Zane books, Eric Jerome Dickey. Those were the 2 authors that literally, and rest in peace, Eric Jerome Dickey. Those were the 2 authors that got me back into reading.
Okay.
And then after that, what I was noticing was I was reading these books and I can't talk about them with anybody. Like I would tell my mom, like, you got to read this book. Oh, Mary Monroe as well. Mary Monroe.
I got some of her books too.
Oh yeah, and she's an Alabama native that I found out.
Oh, okay.
And so I just was working at the time, and then I came across Oprah Book Club. There was an article online, and I was like, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. You can be reading a book and you have a different take, and then somebody else could read it, have a different takeaway, and how about putting something like this together? So a couple of associates that I knew, I literally reached out to them and was like, hey, I'm thinking about joining the book club. Are you a reader? If you're not a reader, you still gonna join. You just, you still gonna, gonna do this. And so, November 2011 is when we had our first meet and greet. And it started out just very simple, us getting together, reading and discussing books. And then it just grew into community service. It grew into us, actually going to book events, hosting authors. It just took off. And then from that, we hosted our first book event this year at Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And so it just grew. So in December of this year, we'll be celebrating 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. And it's crazy because that book club started before me actually starting to become an author. So it really, when we talk about how we look back and how God prepares us, this book club prepared me to meet self-published authors. This book club got me to the National Book Club Conference as a book club member. It got me to start networking and meeting all these great authors that I had to turn to and say, help me, how do I do this?
I know, right?
So that's how it started.
Yeah. So you have one planned for next year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Very excited about it. Last week we were able to sign Zane, and I'm beyond excited.
Ooh, girl, hey. I know that's right. Okay, so how does a person get tickets or for your event, or how do we go about if a person wanted to come to the event? How would we go about that?
Yeah, so we'll open up registration September the 6th. We wanted to allow time for the previous participants to, if they were interested in joining us next year, we want to kind of give them a courtesy of, signing up before we actually formally opened up registration. So September the 6th, I'm opening up registration. You can go on our website and it'll show you the different, methods of payments, what everything that comes with what you, purchase for your table. It's really, I have to say, it's just all God. It's all God, because there's no way that I would have been able to get to this point without him. Bringing the right people. Curtis Vaughn will be our second featured author. All he's done just some amazing things himself, and it's just awesome. We have an event host, we have our musician, everybody that participated is going to help us out next year. So I'm excited. We have a limited number of tables, but the space is fantastic. It's going to be upstairs, downstairs at the Historical Harbor Center in Birmingham, Alabama. They gave us an awesome sponsorship. So just so grateful grateful. Ready to see what happens.
All right. Hey, September. Okay, so registration over September the 6th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when is the actual event?
The event is going to be on April the 30th, 2022, from 11 to 4 o'clock. We're going to have for readers that come in, The Harvard Center is going to give them complimentary mimosas, I think maybe champagne while they browse. We're going to have a designated area for our authors and vendors to be able to relax, have complimentary breakfast, complimentary lunch, and we're going to have our featured authors in the library of the event center, so that they, have their own personal space. We have volunteers signed up, and I'm very excited. This venue is so beautiful. And I'll tell you, when I thought about the venue, I was like, Lord, I don't know why you're telling me about this venue, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go meet with the lady, pray before I prayed, like talking to him as I was finding the venue. And I was like, if it's not the right place, then let me know. But when I went in and I met the lady, I already knew. I already knew the way that she was, just excited about this, because as an author, I've gone to different states for book events, but never in Alabama. Not for what we're trying to do. I'm like, well, if it's not happening, then you create it. You create what you want.
That's another thing that I have learned becoming an author, where God just kept giving me these ideas. Okay, well, create this show, this show, and create this. And I created 4 shows, like Morning Word and Worship, Let's Talk Sunday, Think About It Sunday, Author's Excerpt Sunday. And then he said, all right, let's take this another step higher. Why don't you have your own streaming channel? So I'm getting ready to start that September the 5th.
Oh, congratulations.
And the thing is that it's going, even though it's through another streaming company, God opened the door, because I didn't know this man for Adam or Eve when he texted me in my Facebook message.
That's how it happens.
And I'm like, streaming channel. He said, okay. I sat down and talked to him. His name is Wayne Manning Bass II. So if you know anybody that wants to start a streaming channel, I'll give you that information.
Okay.
Talk with him, because it's reasonable, and you pay one price for a whole year, and you will be amazed at how cheap this price is for a whole year. And he hosts your channel and things like that. And and the thing is that God always has another way of saying, okay, let's go higher. Let's go higher.
Yes, he does. He does.
Yes, and the thing is that now it's time. God said it's time for you to do more. Time you do more. Not just sit at home, not just, because before I decided to go full force with everything I was doing, I'm also a certified nursing assistant. So that was taking up my time. And then, it was taking up my time. I love my work, but the pain started to come. And then the doctor diagnosed me with have sciatica. So I said, okay, Lord, what you trying to tell me? So he was like, no, you need to be working on what I asked you to work on. So that's how he does us sometimes.
He does.
So I just want to say, is there anything you want to talk about? Anything else that you want to inform us about what you're doing?
Yes, well, I definitely want to thank you so much for allowing me to be able to be on your platform. I think this is really, really awesome. So thank you so much for what you do for authors and readers. And wanted just to encourage you to continue on. I have experienced so much, even just this summer. And one thing that I would like to just leave people with is just understand that sometimes things are going to happen that's outside of your control, but as long as you continue to lean and depend on God, He's going to open doors, create opportunities for you that you wouldn't even think that would even come to you. And so, don't ask yourself, why me? Just say, why not me? If he brings you there, If
Yeah.
he gives you the idea, if he gives it to you,
Yeah.
then that's all you need. Don't worry about not having the support of people that you think should support you. Don't worry about any of that stuff. You just continue to follow what God has placed in your heart and just let him do the rest. And that's the hardest thing that it took me to finally get in my head. After all of these years is that, you know, you have to trust him.
Yeah, I know. Trust him completely.
Yeah, as long as you give it to him, and when you give it to him, let him handle it, and you will just feel a big release of all of that pressure and stress. So yeah,
I know, right? I know,
oh
right?
yeah.
All right, everyone. It has been a pleasure to have you, Kay Reshay. And
Yeah,
I love you, and you
love
you bring all of that honesty and openness and forthrightness to your work and to your legacy.
Thank you.
You are creating a legacy, and it is very important that we do that as African Americans, that we have a legacy that we're leaving behind.
Right.
Leave here. Okay, well, now my sons can do for themselves. They have an idea, they can go with this. And then you never know, they might turn around and say, okay, well, you know, and then they pass this on to their children.
Right.
And then they you know, it's a passed on thing of, look, this is how you can have your own, and you can make it your own, and can't nobody take that away from you.
Exactly. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Yes, and we have to keep thinking out the box. We have to keep thinking out the box. Yes. We do. Yes, we do. Yes.
And everything we do well.
And excellence. And excellence. And excellence. So I want you to give us the date for your program again. The date and the date and the place and all the information, please.
Yeah, so our book event is called Behind the Ink. This is our second annual book event. It is going to be on April the 30th, 2022, from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. It's going to be at the Harbert Center, located in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. Headlining this event will be New York Times bestselling author Zane, along with Essence #1 bestselling author and the founder of the National Book Club Conference, Mr. Curtis Bond. This event will feature best-selling local and best-selling local authors. We're going to have best-selling authors and local authors. We plan to highlight 2 local authors there as well. And then we'll have vendors. And so we are, you know, this is just the beginning. We want this event to get bigger and bigger. So if there are any authors and vendors out there, we would love to have you. The tables are limited, so we're hoping that by the end of the year we will have already sold all of our tables, so we can, you know, concentrate on the marketing aspects of it all. But you know, we are wanting this to be a staple event in Alabama for Black authors.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Kay Reshay. How are you doing? I thank you so much. And everybody, can you give us a list of your last, a title of your last book, and where can we purchase it?
Yes, my last, and also for the book event, I'm sorry, you can visit our website. It's Me Time Book Club 1 at Weebly.com, and you can also visit us on Instagram at Me Time Book. So yes, my latest novel is called All Things Work Out Well. That book is available on all platforms, and I recently was able to get it in the libraries, the library catalog. So you can also request this at your local library. This book, along with my other works, are also available on Audible. So if you're not a reader, you can always listen to it on your way to work, listen to it while you work out.
All right.
And yeah, and you can request it in bookstores if they don't carry it. So I try to make it available. If you want a signed copy, all you have to do is check out my website, kreshayweekly.com, and you can get a signed copy as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss K. Reshay. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for watching. And I thank you, and I thank you, and I thank you. Like we said, if any authors are looking for exposure for a event to go to, please get in contact with Miss K. Reshay and get out there, get your book seen, do everything for your book, because it's your baby, and
Right.
you got to take care of that baby. That baby just you wrote the book. Don't just sit on it. Get
Right.
busy with it. Get busy
Right.
and let people know about your publishing, your intellectual properties, as we call it.
Yes, come
And
to Alabama.
yeah, come on to Alabama.
Get you
Yes,
some readers in another state.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Spread the love. Spread the
Spread the love, right?
Okay, thank you, Miss K. Reshay. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.